Hey guys, it's your boy JCG Studios, and welcome to part 2 of the series where we try and create a spaceship for Unity. Here we are, here's my spaceship. I've added a few things to it since the last part of the tutorial, most notably sort of mounts for the guns here and a few more sort of nooks and crannies for aesthetic reasons. Nothing much really, but it's time we start painting this. And this is what this tutorial is all about, really. So when we come to add textures to this, what we need to do is UV unwrap it, which is segmenting this entire body into little sort of sheets that we can apply texture to. For example, let's have a look at this really. The UV image editor down here. If I was to, oh for fuck's sake, there we go. If I was to select all the vertices, hit U and hit Smart UV Project, this is something that does it all for me. It works alright, and you can see that it's sort of segmented it into a load of sort of flat faces, which you can paint upon. Bit like if you got a 3D cube made out of paper and you split it, you sort of undo the sides and put it back in its frame. But I'll actually hit Control Z on that because we don't want to smart UV unwrap it. You can smart UV unwrap if it's a small object and not much detail. I need to get it done quickly, but for this I'm going to teach you how to have a more thorough and controlled approach to UV unwrapping. So, to separate our model out into little flat panels like we just saw in the Smart UV Unwrap, we use what's called seams. Let me show you what they do. So, for example, if I select, if I want to get a hang on, sorry. If I want to get the top part of it and have that as one big sort of a plane, then I can basically just select all the edges around it as shown. Won't be long. Okay, just go up here real quick, and then we can up to here. And across here. So from the top perspective we can see that what we've selected is basically just the whole top part of it, and you want to select vertices that generally point in one direction, otherwise when you do paint the texture later on it'll look really skew-whiff. So anyway, I want to hit Control E and I want to hit Mark Seam. Now if we come off that, and you can see this red line down here, and that's a seam, and that basically separates this bit here from the rest of it down here on this side. So for example, if we UV unwrap this now, there we go, you can see that it's separated this part, which is this, from the rest of the ship. I'm just going to go ahead and UV and add seam, to the rest of the project. Okay, so I think I've finished this entirely. One way to check if you've seen this correctly without any bits overlapping or any polygons going around sharp corners is to just click A twice to select everything and hit unwrap. And now you can quickly check in here just to see if anything's either overlapping. That seems alright, I think. And another trick you can do is hit this plus button up here, and you can click on stretch. And the lighter blues show areas of stretch. I don't really care about these bits because they're inside the engine cowls, and you won't really be seeing those in game. There's another small bit here. I might just do that real quick. Christ. There we go. Mark seam. Crap at this. Why won't it recognise? Yeah, well, okay. Then just do that again. Just keep unwrapping it once you feel like you fixed any errors with it. And again around here, but to be honest, this isn't really that important because to me it's going to be just one solid colour there anyway. Once you're done with adding all the seams, you can go ahead and, well, you can save it, but I recommend saving a copy as a backup as well. And once you've got your backup saved, you can come out of edit mode and apply the mirror tool like this, and as you can see, the mirror tool's been completely applied and everything's looking good. And let's just unwrap that again. Now we've got it all mirrored, and let's just have one last look over it before we export it. Everything seems to be in order. I think I've just jinxed it, to be honest, but I mean, it looks alright. So I'm just going to go to UVs down here. Actually, no, I'm going to hit new material down here, and because I want a higher res texture, I want to change both these values to 2048. There we go. Once you have everything selected, go to UVs, export UV layout. I'm just going to go to the game I'm making. This is the folder for Starshot. Please check out my other videos on it. Want to open GIMP or any photoshopping software you've got, and then we can find our texture, our UV maps that we just exported. There we go. There it is. And so we don't accidentally overwrite it, I like keeping the UVs intact just in case. And so yeah, what you have here is just the UVs we exported, and you can basically just use these as a template. So what I usually do is I create a new layer. Once I create a new layer, I'm going to get a dark color, just fill that in. Don't worry, it's not all gone. The dark color there is basically anything we haven't painted, or any sort of small details like just cowlings and that, which I will leave unpainted. We'll just take this dark color, and I'm going to go to the, I believe this is the, no, not that bit. Okay. What have I done wrong there? Oh, nothing. Okay. I thought I did something wrong there. But no, let's start with the top, and let's just start painting that. So one way you can go about this is to just go to the UV layer and hit select, and it will just select the entire bit here. And I'm going to go into my layer, and I'm just going to get a base, kind of a dark green after, ooh, like a lightish, I don't know, medium hue green for this. Gonna get a brush, just get this random old thing, and just gonna start painting. He says, and it won't work. Why is that? Oh, my bad. Need to invert the selection there. Let's hope GIMP doesn't crash. There we go. Beautiful, look at that. Now we can just get a base coat down. This is what I'm going to do for the entire, most of the project. It'll look very simple at the moment, but after we finish the base paint we can add little details and add stuff like hull plating just to give it an edge, and after that we can bake some normals for it, and just whatever. I mean, what I'm doing you don't have to do, obviously. It's just stuff that I've gained over the experience of making my game that sort of fits the art style I'm going for. So I guess I'm just going to speed the video up as I paint a load of this. Okay, for example, I've just added a very simple layer of paint to some of the parts here, and if you've done a load and you want to see how it looks in Blender, you can export it. We can open it in our UV editor by clicking on this open file here and just navigating to the file. You can see it covers the, I'll turn stretch off. There we go. Wow, I just broke it. Okay, yeah. So, as you see, it covers the paint quite nicely. And what we can do is change it from Blender render to Cycles render. Go over to your materials, use nodes, color, image texture, open, and then we can open our texture there. And we can go to texture here. As you can see, some of our ship has been painted quite nicely. And I'm just going to carry on and come back to you when I've done a load more for the next steps. Before I speed up the video though, another cool trick I just remembered is to, if you've got a face here and you don't know what face on the actual model it corresponds to, like what the fuck is this, for example, or this, then to find out you can click this button here, the keep UV and edit mode mesh selection in sync, and as you see the this sort of selection down here changes to the same as over here. Then you can click on, say, these, or you can hit L and select entire island, forgot to mention that, and it pops up on the model and you can be like, oh yeah, it's that. That's quite handy. And it really doesn't matter if you go over the edges. Like, look how messy I am with mine. So it doesn't matter if you go over the edges with the base paint, just as long as it doesn't spill into other islands, you should be fine. It's probably not very professional, but who's going to notice, you know? Yeah, so we've got a little base paint going. I've noticed that sometimes it stretches even around here, so I usually just add another loop cut to fix that. Don't have to. Can make quite a nice effect, really. Now it's time to start adding some details. Pretty up to you what you want to do. I'm just going to have some sort of stripes and stars down the side, I reckon, for my... Okay, so what I got here is a basic texture for my ship. Kind of looks alright, but I don't know, it's a little bit cartoony. I don't know, what would you say? How about we go fix that? Okay, so here's my texture. It's quite messy, but no worries. Let's create a new texture altogether, 2048 by 2048. Let's make this grey. And let's go to filters, render, pattern, checkerboard. Let's set both of the sizes to 32 and select a secondary colour to a darker tone. Okay, filters, render, pattern, grid. Oh, there we go. Let's select all of this and let's paste it in as a new layer. Okay, so what have we got here? This is sort of the whole plating for the ship. You can just flick through the modes and find one that you like. Oh, one thing I did forget, sorry, is to... Oh, what was it? I think it was to apply a Perlin normal noise over the top of this, so it sort of just creates a nice jagged, sort of a worn look to it. Just gonna decrease the alpha, increase the scale, decrease the alpha again. There we go, nice. And again, I'm just gonna flick through the different types of layer modes to see which one would suit me the most. It might be one of these two actually. Linear, burn, or burn. Okay. Quite a bit to choose from here. Do apologise. This is giving you epilepsy. We'll go with this one actually. Overlay. See the individual pixels here. And one more thing I'm going to do is apply some HSV noise to it and increase the value. There we go. That just sort of I'll put one more in that actually. Let's try this one. There we go. There we are. Nice. Okay. Just sort of textures it and randomizes the look a little bit. Let's just merge that layer down. Control A, Control C, edit, paste as new layer. There we go. And again, we're just going to scroll through the modes to see what fits our painting best. Getting a bit worried, not seeing any I like. I guess this could do. How about we size it up a bit actually. Okay. Oh. No, that's pretty nice actually. So you can see how it sort of wears and tears around the different panels here. That's quite nice. Before I forget, we're just gonna get the different windows of our model because we don't want the grid covering that, do we? I was thinking this was going to be the new player ship, but thinking about it, I'm leaning more towards sort of one of the friendly AIs. I'm not too sure. Since I've already got a good texture and a good model, shout out to the Brawn Killer for helping me with that. Just gonna there we go. I'm going to our pasted layer and delete that. What else? We can delete this. So this basically stops us from getting the whole plating grid over the windows because that's not very realistic. Sort of quite noticeable as well if you're flying around. I think it's these two. Okay. Oh, my bad. And the whole point of this is basically just to give it some texture. Stops it from looking cartoony and Add some sort of randomness to it as well. It's quite nice. And is that the one I want? I think it is. I can't make up my mind. Yeah, go on. Wait. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Just gonna merge some of these layers down since we're basically done with them at this point. There we go. And let's just add some more details to it. Noise is generally quite nice. It basically just adds sort of a random looking effect to it. Noise, Perlin noise. And again, we're going to up the scale. Not too rough. But this is obviously totally up to you, whatever you feel like doing when you want to add texture to yours. See, that looks quite nice. It sort of... it just makes it... I don't know. Gives it sort of shading and bumpiness. We will add a bump map to it later as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I forgot to it. Oh, yeah. I'm just going to add some sort of dirt effects to it. Again, this is sort of quite just a quick, just to show you what you can do to add effects to it, really. Okay, there we go. To darken up around the edges, and you can really go wild with this. I'm going to also add another layer below this and get some sort of shading around the just around the edges there. But I'm going to have to actually, before I do that, am I able to Control Z far back enough to get the... yeah, okay. Sorry, I accidentally merged the wrong layers there. That one. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, okay. Let's re-add that Perlin noise. Ooh. Let's drop that down onto the... yes, that's nice. It's nice. Let's get another layer going. Add some dirty effects to it. All the little collisions with asteroids over the years, as well as the exhaust of the engine, really sort of weathers it and gives it a sense of age, as opposed to the texture beforehand, where it's just very sort of monotonous and one colour. It does look nice, especially with the bump mapping game. The Unity engine does a really good job of applying shaders on bump maps and give it a good range of colours. I know this feels like a Bob Ross episode. I can promise you, you're still watching JCG Studios. My apologies if this is going over the top a little bit. Yeah. It's just nice and a little smoky. There we go. It's beautiful. Yeah, there we are. This really gives it a sense of age. All the exhaust, all the sort of little bits of collisions over the years. And if you want to go further, and I will be doing this later, but not in this tutorial, we can just do some, basically go crazy with it, do whatever you want. Save this, and then let's export it. And now, if we boot this up in the Blender model now, oh, it didn't save properly. There we go, beautiful. Yep, one thing to add. Silly me. Forgot to do the windows. Let's just do that now. Yep. Yep. No. that. And we can delete all of that and just add a sort of lighter grey to it. So obviously you have to clean the windows of the spaceship, don't you? Can't exactly leave them. Still want the purling noise in there. I reckon that'll add a nice touch to it. And the front windshields as well. Boom. Okay. Boom. And last but not least, this one here. There we go. And there we go. I'm just going to fill this in. Oh. There we are. Lovely. Let's move that back underneath. So I've gone quite over the top with the weathering here. Oh, Unity's thrown up an error. Okay. But go crazy with it really and just see what you like. That's quite nice in my opinion. Sort of fits well with my style of game. And let's go ahead and export this into Unity. Just gonna FBX tutorial ship. Let's export that. Okay, nice. And we've got the texture as well. So, alright, cheers Unity. I'm just going to create a new scene. Actually, I'm going to open my photo shoot scene. I was part way through a bit of coding on Starshot, so I thought I might as well just keep the thing open. Let's delete the Sagittarius. Let's keep that interceptor in there, why not? This is just to show... Christ, where is it? There we go, okay. Need to re-import, because it, for some reason, if you've got both programs open in the background, it doesn't always like it. Let's size this up a little bit. Ooh. There we go. Rotate it 180 degrees. So it's facing the right way. For some reason, the forward y-axis in Blender is the opposite of that to Unity, so I'll be going through this next tutorial, but you just want to create a parent object if you want to fly this around. What the hell? Okay. Should ignore that for now. Let's get a material going. Let's just call it texture. Oh my god. And I'm just going to whack this into the albedo. There we go. Beautiful. Looks nice, especially in this spotlight we've got going somewhere. I can't actually find it. There we go. And but if you look closely, it's quite flat. Just going to mess around with the yeah, it looks alright. I'm just going to add try and get a bump map going for this actually. If I go back into GIMP, I'm going to save export as, just so we don't get the two mixed up. Normals, okay. Stuff. It takes a while to export, just we've got several layers on the go. Now, it's a bit tricky one I'm about to show you because it needs a I feel bad about this, but you need a plugin for GIMP, and I can't actually remember what it's called, but I will be sure to put the link to it in the description. What it does is it basically just changes what you got on your image to a normal bump map. Let's open the 3D preview, and I'm going to ramp this right up to 50, 42. This might not work very well just because we've got so many different colours on it, but it looks alright actually. Sort of works well since I'm trying to get a very rustic effect on this anyway. Got our texture, let's put this in a normal map, fix now, and it looks very bumpy at the moment, so let's just tone this down to whatever we want. See. There we go. So that's basically it on I'm not happy with that. I'll have to redo it. So that's basically part 2 on creating a ship for Unity. And now we're actually in Unity. In part 3 we will discuss how to actually make it fly. So thanks all for tuning in. I'll catch you all next episode.